Hey everyone, Lex DeVille here, and in this video we're going to go through something different than what we usually do. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. We're going to look at least one job post, analyze it, and look at the things that I would pick out that are going to tell me, first of all, is this a good client? Second of all, what do I need to pay attention for whenever I'm writing my proposal? So if you want to know what I'm looking for whenever I'm looking through job posts on Upwork, then stick around.
Hey minions, if you're new to the channel and you like what I have to say, then be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss a video. Only do this if you like what I have to say and if you want to hear more about freelancing, entrepreneurship, and personal world domination.
For those who don't know me, I'm Lex DeVille, and on this channel, we help you escape corporate prison and build a freelance empire. We give you lots of freelance tips and tutorials to help you make lots of money as freelancers, or even just to help you get your start, help you get your feet in the door, help you make that first penny so that you can grow to higher places and get to the next level. That's what this is all about. In this video, we are going to do some things differently. So if you are new, consider subscribing. We are going to, instead of me just talking, I want to pop up on the screen a job post, random job post, not even in my field. And we're going to look at this thing and see how I would write a proposal. I'm not going to write the proposal today. So if that's what you're looking for, that's another video. This one, I want to analyze the job post itself. Say, is this job, first of all, worth applying to? And second of all, what do I need to say? What do I need to pull from this job post to show the client that I paid attention, that I care about them, and that I'm the best person to get this job done? So I'm going to flip over and just pick a job post out, and you won't be able to see this because I don't have my screen recording software on this computer, so I'm just going to pop it up on the screen and you guys can check that out. By the way, if you haven't seen our most recent video, it was talking about mindset. I was sharing the secret to consistency, my secret for staying consistent with freelancing, freelance work, sending proposals, and just getting shit done. You can check that out up there. There'll be a little link for it. Now, going in here, this just popped up on my screen. It's kind of a fit for my industry, so I'm going to go ahead and click this up, and you'll see it here on the screen in a minute. We're just going to go through this. It says the title is Social Media Manager plus VA needed for Love Coaching Company. So they do love coaching. They're a coach. I like coaches. That's kind of my bread and butter. Now let's go down here and see what we can find in their job post, and we'll read this whole thing. We'll go through the whole thing, see if it's worth it. Deliverable: to grow a following on Facebook and Insta to 10K raving fans in 6 months. Whew, yeah. That's already a little bit troubling for me, and I will tell you why that would be a red flag for me if I were looking at this job. So they want to grow a following on Facebook, which means they have no following right now, or whatever following they have is very small. They think that 10K is a big number, and they think that 6 months is a reasonable time to reach that number. I think that that's a pretty small number for Instagram, and you should be able to reach that pretty quickly on there if you know what you're doing. And maybe they just don't have any clue as to what a good amount would be, but to me, this says several troubling things to me. So first of all, if you're a coach, for those of you who don't know the coaching industry very well, and I do know it very, very well, coaches who spend time on Facebook and Instagram as their main source of traffic struggle. In fact, most coaches struggle unless they are really huge influencers or they are using paid advertising that is going to a webinar or some other place like that. So if somebody's asking me for Facebook and Instagram fans to grow to 10K raving fans, which isn't even that much, it tells me they're not an influencer right now and they don't really have much backing them. Add to that they're doing love coaching, which really, to me, should be called relationship coaching, because what the hell is love coaching? It's like a vague thing. This coach doesn't know what they're doing. Coming on down, let's read the rest of it. That's just a first red flag for me. Probably wouldn't take this one if this were me, but it might be different for you because you are a virtual assistant or whatever. This is your space. Scope of work. So one thing I really like about this, just looking at a quick glance, two quick things I like about it. One, they have 5-star reviews. Good for them. They've only got 2 reviews and they've only spent $3,000, but at least they've spent some money. And they've only hired a couple of people, it seems like. 2 hires total for $3,000. So they're willing to pay out some cash. I also like that their job post is organized. Look at how they've structured it. You don't see clients structuring things like this very often, so at least they have a sense of organization about them. So the scope of work: growth campaigns that are mostly organic but including some ads, clever content creation, strategies for engagement, the ability to find and speak to my target audience, to create connection. It almost sounds like what this person wants is more than a VA. They said something about social media manager, but really they're asking for a bit of a copywriter in there too. So you have to kind of read between the lines for that. If they need somebody who can speak in your voice, if they need someone who can speak to your target audience, they're really talking about a copywriter, because that's a copywriter's role. Unique. The right candidate is a good writer and fluent in English, as this is a personal growth company looking to inspire people and help them with relationship issues. See, I told you it was a relationship company, while also being entertaining and sassy. So I'm not really sure who their target audience is at this point. It's probably more geared toward females. Most of the coaches these days are targeting females, a female audience, at least most of the female coaches, relationship coaches. Usually if it's relationship or love stuff for men, then it's usually the pickup artist. It's more targeted toward that. If they're wanting entertaining and sassy, that's a female audience, almost certainly. Personality: must be a self-starter, outside-of-the-box thinker, solutions-oriented, motivated, trustworthy, into personal development, mission-driven, a fast learner, easy to communicate with, open to feedback, excited about the relationship, dating, spirituality topics, eager to learn more. Skills: video editing is a must. Experience with growing social media accounts, marketing, copywriting, customer service. This is a very dynamic role, and you must be able to help with whatever is needed related to Gravitas. If this is you, please apply. Rates are $18 to $40 an hour. All right, so first thought: they want a lot of shit all wrapped into one thing. And again, that might be something that you're open to, but what I'm gathering from this is that they want somebody who is going to be more than a social media manager, more than a VA. They want somebody who's going to be a copywriter, a video editor. They want an all-in-one thing so that they don't have to pay multiple people. And that tells me that they have probably a limited budget. So even though they've spent $3,000, let's come on down and see what they've spent $3,000 on. Webinar funnel expert needed, so that's good. They're doing webinar funnels. That means that they at least have an idea about how to make money. And a webinar editor needed. So they have made a webinar, or they've hired someone to help them edit their webinar. You can see down here they spent 9 hours, $20 an hour, and up here 49 hours at $60 an hour. So they've spent a good chunk of change, and they've spent on fair rates. This person has some money to put behind this. It's not clear to me how much they have, but they are targeting a female audience. They are putting money into it, and they do seem to know the systems that work for coaches. So the one thing that is just a little bit bothersome for me is that they don't really seem like they've got a solid structure for how they want to grow, in terms of why are they using Facebook and Instagram and trying to get raving fans when that doesn't lead to sales, when they have webinar marketing. Maybe they've tried that. Maybe it didn't work for them for whatever reason. I don't know what that is. But also that they want you to be a jack of all trades. It's a little troubling. Overall, should you work with this client? Well, if you're willing to do this stuff, if you need the money, sure, go for it. It's probably pretty good. And they seem like, just from their job post, that they are at least growing, that they are at least trying to do the stuff that's going to make a lot of money. Let's pop over to their website real quick and see what that's like, because usually when somebody puts a website in their job post, that can say a lot about them. All right, so here's their website on the screen. Just close that. Gravitas Manifest Conscious Love. Okay, I'm liking what I see here. Neuro coaching for women like you. Told you it was a woman market, or female market. So this is really targeting female, spiritual. It's good, clean website. It's got nice, clean copywriting on it. And overall, it looks all right. It looks pretty professional. I like that. That means they've invested money in copywriting and in web design at some point. Let's go over into their programs real quick. We'll pop that up here too. Manifest your soulmate. Okay, so we're getting into a really spiritual kind of woo market. And that's not a bad thing. That can be a good market. In fact, I'm making a lot of money in that market right now. So, gift yourself the opportunity of a lifetime. You deserve love. So this is about finding love, manifesting love into your life. We've got different people here, modules. They need better copywriting. They don't really have anything going on. Let's click the sign up now and see what we find. Does it tell us how much? There we go. High ticket coach. $1,997. So they're on the low end of the high ticket mark, which tells me they probably have some kind of limiting beliefs that are holding them back from pricing higher, because most high ticket coaches are not at this price point. They are usually at $2,500 or higher. When they're at this price point, it tells me they don't feel comfortable yet pricing themselves higher. So that's just for you to know. But at $2,000 per sale, if you can help them get sales, and once they start to get sales consistently, then they're going to have the money to pay you ongoing and to work with you. All right, so I'm going to go back. We can see that their website is highly professional. Program, coaching. Let's see their coaching. She's got different coaching options here. 1-1 coaching, boutique group work, 10 weeks, and then a VIP private coaching program, 3 months. So let's see what that is. So you have to apply for that one. Okay, so what this tells me is that the program is probably a course. This is going to be a course, and it's going to come at a $2,000 price point, and then the other things are going to be even higher. So whenever we're talking about 1-1 and group coaching, I'm going to guess that those are anywhere from $2,500 to VIP coaching being $7,000 to $15,000 or more. And that's 3 months of coaching, so I would guess anywhere in that range. Since you have to apply, that also means that you're going to have to get on a call. Going down here, we've got a 30-minute discovery call. There it is. Breakthrough session. If you just want a quick breakthrough session, $375 an hour. All right. Going back to the job post. Everything that I've seen at this point tells me that this is going to be a pretty good client overall. They are somebody who is detail-oriented. They might be a micromanager. That could be a challenge that you face because of all these details and how clean and organized it is. When I see that, that tells me possibly a micromanager, not guaranteed. Everything is clean and looks really clear here. And they've got good reviews. So this could be a good client. If this is one of your early clients, if you are a VA who's trying to get your start, even if you're not, even if you're a mid-level VA or social media manager, this could be a really, it's not going to be your high-ticket role. It's not going to be your huge role unless you take some risks with it and find different ways to package it. But if you're just doing hourly, this is going to be a good one. Now notice down here at the bottom, they've got all the standard questions. A lot of you have questions about how to answer these questions whenever you find them. Most of the questions that you see down here are not custom questions. They are Upwork suggested questions. So I don't know how many of you know this, but whenever you're hiring a freelancer, Upwork says, do you want to ask any of these questions? And then it gives you like all of these right here. And you just click a box if you want to ask them. So it's very easy. Clients don't even think about it, but you still do have to answer them in order to apply to the gig. So you need to come up with something there. So what part of this project most appeals to you? Usually when I answer this question, I'm saying something like the opportunity to work with a driven individual who is making real waves in the world, an action taker, somebody who's a doer, somebody who's doing things. I don't want to talk about the project and why I care about the project. I want to talk about them and what I'm saying about them. So now I'm calling this coach somebody who does things. I'm calling her a doer. I'm calling her an action taker. I'm calling her an entrepreneur. You are a real entrepreneur. And when I'm saying that about them, it's making them feel good because that's how they want to see themselves. They want to be like, oh, this guy, he gets me. I am an entrepreneur. I am a doer. I am an action taker. And it says something else. I am an action taker means I should take action right now because this person's calling me an action taker and I feel like an action taker. And what does an action taker do? An action taker takes action. So I'm going to take action and contact this guy. That's what I would put there. Describe a time you had to think outside of the box to get the job done. Okay, this one's pretty unique. This is going to be one where you're going to have to come up with a story, something from your own life. It doesn't matter if it relates to the project at all, but if it does relate to the project, even better. So if I was answering this question, I'm going to come up with some kind of story that relates back to one of my past coaching clients and how they were stuck and how they ran into a wall and how something I did or said just like that instantly changed things for them and move them from that stuck place to the outcome that they want. So you have to think about what is the outcome that they want. If I could give them an example of how I had a coach who was trying every little thing to grow their social media and grow their Facebook and Instagram and nothing was working. And then I said, hey, have you tried this? And then overnight they had 5,000, 10,000 Instagram followers. Or overnight, their Instagram took off. I could even say that. Then I don't have to give an exact number. Then when you say that, that's going to be super relevant for them. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's the exact thing that I needed from the get-go. All right, let's talk about number 3. Why do you think you are a good fit for this particular project? That's a little bit of a tricky one for a lot of people because we don't like to talk about ourselves when it comes to this question. Why do you think you're a good fit for this project? For this type of question, usually I answer it by saying that you need someone who does this. So I start with that you focus. Like you said, you need this, this, and this. And I do this, this, and this for these kinds of people. Here's some coaches I've worked with. You can keep it short. But you said you need this. I do this, this, and this. If that makes sense for you, or if that's what you need, message me. I like to say if that's what you need, message me, because it almost kind of rhymes, so it feels like it flows a little better. Number 4, how do you approach difficult conversations with customers? Okay, if you have never had to deal with difficult conversations with customers, then this one is going to throw you for a loop. So you're going to have to come up with an answer for that. How do I approach difficult conversations with customers? Well, I approach it in a calm and as reasonable manner as possible. For this client, since I think that they could be a micromanager based on all of the details I'm seeing, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to take a step by step. I'm going to calm and center myself, first of all. So we know that she's in the coaching space too. So you got to keep that in mind. She's in the coaching and spiritual space. So what does a spiritual coach value? What a spiritual coach values is somebody who they want to help people overcome things. They want to lift them up, and they want to have this calm, centered place of balance that they're operating from. As you see here on their website, that's the first thing you see is a person who is centered literally on the page, and balanced in a meditative stance. So whenever you answer this question, you might say, first I center myself and I try to allow myself time to calm down and find a sense of balance. And then I approach the customer in a step-by-step manner, the most reasonable manner as possible to de-escalate any tension so that we can get them feeling like we're on the same page. So you have to talk about feelings with spiritual clients. You have to talk about balance and being centered and just keeping the calm, de-escalating things, and relaxing, getting back to that spiritual center place. If you say those things, then that's how you can answer this one. So you don't have to just use any old example from your life. You don't even have to give a specific example. You just say, I approach from a calm place of balance center. I find my center first. I calm myself down. I release any tension in my body. And then I remember that this isn't about me. It's not personal. It's about the problem they have and making them feel heard. I may not say all of that. I'd probably shorten it, but that's what I would say. Describe your recent experience with similar projects. That one's going to be the trickiest one for some of you. It's an easy one for me because I work with spiritual coaches pretty regularly. I'm working with one right now, so I would just talk about those experiences. If you don't have any similar experiences, say, hey, I've never worked with anybody in this specific industry, but I have worked with this person, and this person, or I have worked in this industry and this industry that are kind of similar, and the language is kind of similar as well. Or maybe say, I haven't worked with the spiritual industry, but I have worked with a female audience before. So you have to take what they are focusing on, similar projects, and then you have to move their attention somewhere else. You have to put their attention on something else that you want them to focus on, which is what you have done. So not the fact that you lack experience in this area, but over here, what you have done and what you do have experience in. So that's how you answer those questions, at least on this one. Going back up here, let's now move into the actual job post. I want to show you some of the things that I'll be looking for whenever I'm going to write my proposal. So number one thing that you need to know about all of my proposals now, every time I send a proposal, I have a headline. I start it with a sentence at the top of my proposal. Whatever that sentence is, it's targeted to each individual client, but I always use a headline now, and I'm getting way better results with it. So I've stopped introducing myself as just, hey there, and then going into my proposal. I start with a line, a subject line, a headline. You guys can read up on headlines on Google if you want. There's lots of information out there about it. What I have to do here is figure out what would the right headline be for this client. Well, I know that they're in the spiritual market and I know that they're a coach. So what would be a simple headline that I could say to this person? I could say social media manager Or I could just say VA for spiritual coaches. If I just said VA for spiritual coaches at the top of my proposal, that's going to get attention because that's the exact thing that they need. They need a VA for spiritual coaches. After that, then I would go into my hey there, and then I would drop down into my you-focused proposal, starting with something like, you need a social media manager VA for your love coaching business. I'm a social media manager who works with whoever you work with. What kind of clients do you work with? What industries do you work with? Talk about that. Now, things that I'm going to specifically mention in here are any experience I have doing these things. So building a Facebook following or an Instagram following. And even if I don't have those experiences, maybe I'll put the focus on something else. So I've built a YouTube channel with almost 10,000 subscribers on just one channel. I've built other channels with multiple thousands of subscribers. So I would probably just combine all those together and say I've built YouTube channels up to 10,000 plus subscribers. So I can help you out with this maybe. Let's see, growth campaigns that are mostly organic, but including some ads. So they value organic growth. And that still troubles me a little bit that they put most of their emphasis on organic growth and only some ads. Clever content creation strategies and engagement. So two things here. You guys have to be a copywriter whenever you are applying to gigs. Whenever you're writing proposals, you're a copywriter. I don't care what else you are. I don't care what the skill is that you're doing. You're a copywriter. So clever content. This sticks out to me. Clever content creation. That's the first thing she really talks about. I mean, she talks about this stuff, but then she says clever content creation. And if you look down here to this next line, while also being entertaining and sassy. They're in the spiritual world, but they want somebody who is kind of snarky, maybe not snarky, but definitely sassy, maybe a little bit of weird humor. That's what they're looking for. So whenever I write my proposal, whatever I say is going to target spiritual coaches, is going to target the spiritual coaching industry. But however I say it is going to be from a sassy, maybe funny, and clever ideas. So when I write my headline, I might just write VA for spiritual coaches, but I also might use something a little more sassy than that. VA for sassy spiritual coaches. That's not even sassy. I'm just using the word. VA for, how would I say that? I don't know. There's so many ways you could say it, and it's hard for me to come up with this stuff on the spot, but VA for unbalanced, VA for self-centered spiritual coaches who need to find their balance. That's a long one, but that would be a good one. VA for self-centered coaches who need to find their balance, or VA for self-centered spiritual coaches who need to find their balance. This is about helping them come back around to where they need to be. So you're helping them find their balance again. So you need to talk about the things that they're interested in. You need to do it in a way that's a little bit snarky, a little bit sassy. Self-centered spiritual coaches. If you call somebody a self-centered spiritual coach, that's sassy. You're giving them a little bit of sass. You are also being clever. Self-centered spiritual coaches who need to find their balance. It's kind of, I don't really know how to get into my thought process with copywriting, but this is just what I came up with off the top of my head. It's good enough. So that's what I would put. Here's my headline. I would try to bring a little bit, just a pinch of that sass into the rest of the proposal. So I'm not going to use it everywhere. It's not going to be the sole focus, but I would use words like soul. So that's another point. That's something we need to get back to. For the body of this proposal, you need to use words like soul focus or soul or spiritual, feeling, health and healing would be good words to use. Manifesting. These are words that you will find on this person's website. If you go here, look right in their main headline, subheadline, manifest conscious love. Manifest. I will use that word in my proposal. The word conscious, I will probably use that word. Love will probably be somewhere in my proposal. Neuro coaching for women like you. Well, based on that, I would probably start my headline with NLP VA for spiritual coaches, because I'm an NLP master practitioner. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Beauty and dreams. Those are keywords. I would use those to talk about the beautiful place that I help coaches get to. I help them bring their dream to life. Whenever I'm writing my proposal, that's something I might say. Subconscious mind running the show. Your programming is not your fault. It's your subconscious mind running the show. Your love life isn't happening to you, but rather by you and for you. Okay, this is a key line, and you won't always have these websites to look at stuff for copywriting, but you can use this line. So if you were to say something in your proposal such as, I'm a VA for spiritual coaches, and my passion is to help people who feel like life is happening to them rather than by them or for them. So you could say that in your proposal, and that's going to be a standout line. It's going to be super relevant. It's going to be in the exact language that this client needs, and it's going to help them feel like you understand their brand. So you can just go through their website, pick out some of their things. They are talking about the mind. It seems like the mind is where the problems are. The subconscious, the mental chatter, things like that is where the problems are. They're trying to get back to a place of, they're trying to manifest love into their lives and have a beautiful life and bring good things into their life through a spiritual path. So if you can talk about these things and use words like soul and connection and healing and feeling and emotion, all of these people come from a place of emotion, and that's what this is about. So that's what you have to use in your proposal. So this is in addition to everything else you write. Whatever you write about yourself, and even if you're talking about how much experience you have as a VA, if that's what you're saying in your proposal, you need to talk about it using feeling words, connection, emotion words. So I am a soul-focused VA. I'm a VA whose passion is a word of emotion. I'm a VA whose passion is working with individuals who are motivated to find their soul purpose and drive, or motivated to find their soul purpose and manifest beauty into their lives. You just have to change the way you talk about things a little bit. You have to shift your words. This is about picking the right words. And for spiritual coaches, we're talking about emotion words. That's what the spirit is. These people are feeling, they're wanting connection, they're trying to manifest things into their life, and all of these come back to a place of feeling within the self and within the heart. That's what spiritual is. This is a love coach, so it's heart focused, right? So you can use the word heart whenever you're writing your proposal. Beyond that, you still need to have good direct response copy principles. Now, most of you aren't going to know what that is unless you're a copywriter. So the main things to look for are, when you write these, try to write like them. Keep your paragraphs short, keep your sentences short, try to keep them actionable. Avoid words that end in ing. If you have words ending in ing, just like the one I just used, ending, that should be, if your words end in ing, make it actionable. Use Hemingway app if you need to improve your actionability. Hemingway app will tell you how actionable and how easy it is to read your words. You can quickly run your proposal through Hemingway app to check this. I think it's hemingwayapp.com. If not, just look up Hemingway app. There's other websites out there that can do the same thing. Grammarly can sometimes do it. Keep your paragraph short, keep your sentences short, and then whenever you get down to the bottom, look how the bottom of their proposal says, if this is you, please apply. You want to write something different. You need a call to action. You need to say, if that's what you need, message me. If that's what you need, contact me. If that's what you need, call me. One of those lines, something like that. If any of this feels right for you, contact me and let's chat. Or even just say, let's chat. If any of this feels right for you, let's chat. Any of those things are okay. You just need some kind of call to action. At the bottom, you're going to sign off, of course, like anybody would, with kind regards, Lex DeVille. But this is a spiritual coach, so be thinking about that when you're writing your signature. What are you going to say in that signature? Do you use kind regards, or do you say lovingly, Lex DeVille, heartfelt, Lex DeVille, passionately, Lex DeVille? Any of those would work for an emotional audience. Friendly, that works too. Friendly, Lex DeVille. That little piece, you could even sign off with super sassy VA, Lex DeVille. It doesn't matter. Just put a little bit of extra something in there. But that's the things that I'm looking for. So knowing that this is spiritual, knowing that it's love-focused, I know that this is a heart-centered audience. The coach is all about heartfelt emotions. but they also want somebody who is good at copywriting, which you're going to have to demonstrate that here because they want someone who can do a little bit of copywriting. So demonstrate that with your proposal by giving them a little taste of the entertainment and the SaaS that they're looking for. Also keep in mind that they want you to write for a female audience, so you need to focus on that. They do not want internet marketing direct response style copy. They want somebody who's going to talk about things like how they are a self-starter, how they think outside of the box, how they're solutions oriented. These are all words right here. The personality, you can use some of these words in your proposal and talk about how you meet these qualities or how you are these things. Don't break it down like, don't put in bullet points, self-starter, and then here's how I'm a self-starter. Just flow into it. Write a paragraph saying, hey, the reason you might want to work with me is because I am a driven self-starter who is a creative problem solver. That's what I do. I help people overcome their biggest challenges, and I try to do that in a way that feels connected for everyone and benefits us all. Something like that. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you say just needs to use their words, and it needs to use the right words. So the right words are going to be the emotional words. It is going to be the heart words. It is going to be giving them a little taste of your sense of sass and entertainment. And then it is going to be describing a little bit about how you are a couple of these things. Not all of them. You don't have to do all of them. Just pick one or two of them out and then just mention those. This is about, one, grabbing the client's attention, and that's what that headline is going to do. That's going to grab their attention if it's focused on a spiritual coaching audience. And then two, holding their attention. We want to hold it and we want to build interest. And the way we're going to start to build interest is by using the right words, not only the words from their proposal, but the right feeling words, the right underlying words. The emotion words are really about values. It's about what people value. This client values emotions and connections and heart and meditation, and we can see that because that's what her business is all about. So by talking about those things, we show that we understand her values and we align with her values. And when we show that we align with her values, now we're like each other and she's going to like us. And this is going to hold her attention. It's going to build interest. This is going to turn into a raving desire to know more. And ultimately, you're going to have that call to action at the bottom of your proposal so that you can move her to the next level, which is the call. She's going to want to take that action because you've said all the right things, and that's how you do it. And this takes time. It's going to take you time to craft proposals like this. Now, the proposal does not have to be long. The proposal can be 3 paragraphs. Most of my proposals are roughly 3 paragraphs. Sometimes they're a little bit more broken up, so there's a little more space in between, but mostly they're about 3 paragraphs. When you say the right words and you put the right pieces in place, you become really relevant, and that's what this is all about. So, is this a good client? I think it could be. I think it could be an all right client as long as you're willing to deal with somebody who is detail oriented and possibly a micromanager. I'm not saying they are, but they could be. As long as you are willing to work with somebody who does not have a Loctite lead generation system in place, that could be an area where if you can help them with that, you could maybe potentially make more money by offering that as an add-on service or making that into an upsell for them later on. So you could learn how to build funnels, and then maybe you could be someone who consults on their funnel building or who builds their actual funnel. That would be in addition to these other things that you're getting paid for, and now you are more valuable to them. Be thinking about that. Overall, looks like a pretty good client. They've got a website that is thriving. It appears to be growing. It appears that they've got high ticket offers. Those are all good things in my eyes. And they have taken the time to write out what they need. They've also paid past freelancers to do things and paid them quite well. They've got a couple other jobs open, so they're hiring multiple people. They are trying to grow. And this is a client that is trying to expand and scale. And the good thing about where they're at right now is that if you get in with them now and you are part of that growth, getting them from maybe the 6-figure level up to the millionaire level, then you have huge credibility and a great case study that you can use for future clients in a similar field. And you also will become more and more valuable to them over time, so that if you start with them here at this lower level and you are with them, bringing them to this level of scale, bringing them to millions, they're going to want to do good things with you along the way. They're going to want to pay you more, and you're going to be able to earn more over time with this client if you're smart about it. So those are all of my thoughts on this job post. I hope that some of this has brought a little bit of insight into how I approach these things, how I would be thinking about this if I were applying to this job, I would look down here at, let's see, there's intermediate. It doesn't really say how many, where is it at? Invites, they've sent 2 invites. They're not interviewing anyone. They're not interviewing anyone because the people who are applying aren't talking about the things we've talked about in this proposal. They're not reading between the lines. They're not looking at the client's website and saying, these are the exact words they're using. They're using words like beauty and amazing and soul and heart and connection and manifesting and balance and zen and just different things like that. They're not talking about those things, I promise you. And because they're not winning the gig. That's a big part of it. So unanswered invites, they've got 2 people. I would go ahead and apply to this. Less than 5 people have applied because nobody is wanting to do the work for this probably. They probably don't want to be a copywriter and whatever else this person wants. They don't feel like they have all those skills, so they won't apply. But if you're the person who puts in your application, then you're probably going to win this, especially if you do it like what we talked about in this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in a comment down below. Like, what do you think? What do you think that maybe I missed that I'm not thinking about reminding you for this gig? What is your biggest struggle with freelance proposals? This is how I approach proposals. I'm thinking about how can I say something that is relevant in my headline that's going to stand out to this one client? What words do I need to use to attract their attention? What are the exact right words that they want to see based on their job post? And what are the other words that are going to hit them right here in the heart because it gets at their values? Some people think from their heart, some people think from their head, and some people think from the body. And these are all very different styles. The people who think from the body are action takers. They are doers, but everyone wants to feel like an action taker, so keep that in mind. People who are building huge performance-based businesses, wanting to make hundreds of millions of dollars, they're coaching executives in corporate space. That's going to be more of a body-focused, probably action-focused kind of person. Everything that they talk about is going to be about action and getting things done and making shit happen. Soul-focused coaches are heart-centered. And then people who are in the head, those are intellectuals. Those are people like Bill Gates. Those are people who are mad scientists and thinkers. They're people who are always in their minds. That's just, read up on the Enneagram. You can learn more about that stuff. But you don't need to go into all the Enneagram. You don't need to go into all the NLP. You don't need to go into all the clever little tricks, tactics, templates, any of that stuff. What you need to do is do this by looking at one client at a time, focusing only on one client at a time, and analyzing their job posts, finding the right words, the exact right words, giving them a taste of what they can expect when they work with you by letting them taste the things that they asked for, and then smacking them in the face, hitting them in the heart with those underlying value words. Because when you hit those, when you touch on those value words, that's real powerful stuff. And none of this is talking about credibility. We can talk about credibility and you focus another time. Those are other parts to it. But these underlying value words are super powerful, and they will help you get hired. They will help you because it's going to make the client feel like you understand them. And that's what this is all about, is making clients feel like you understand. It's about influencing their perception of you as an expert. Part of that process is to influence them in subliminal ways that they don't realize are even happening to them, by showing them that you understand their values. So let me know if you have a question in a comment down below. This video has gone on a pretty long while. Don't think I really have anything else to say about it. It was fun, and hopefully this has been insightful for some of you in some ways. Hopefully some of you will take away something really valuable from this, because I haven't done any kind of proposal videos in a long time. I'd like to do more of them if we can find the right topics and just get them out there. This is how you apply to gigs on Upwork. It's how you win. Bookmark this video and go back to the pieces that you need, because this is just going to be out there on YouTube. Share it with a friend. Join us in Discord if you haven't done that yet, because Discord is fun. I'm in Discord in and out throughout the day. I am very busy, but I do pop in and answer questions, and I help people a lot in Discord with freelance stuff, or we can just chat and shoot the breeze, all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Lex DeVille, and I will see you next time.